一流と申します。質問はですね、スタンさんと角務さんにちょっとしたいと思います。選んでベンチャーに出資したり、いろいろエンジェルとして手助けしていくとかっていうことは分かるんですが、質問はどういう基準でどういうふうな理由を持って撤退をするって言いますか、この援助はもうやめて、これはもうプロジェクトやめようと、このベンチャーはもう潰してしまおうと、こういう決断はどういう基準でどういう状況理由でもってやられるのか、ちょっといっぺん聞いてみたいと思います。これも大事な話だと思うんですが、はい、
いかがでしょうか。川野先生。
今一流先生の方から私自身はですね直接あるプロジェクトを全部ファイナンスしてるわけでもないんで私は必ずしも立場上そういうことにお答えできることじゃないかもしれませんけど、少なくとも東大寺キャピタルがやってる様子を私が外で見る限りにおいては当然のことながらベンチャーキャピタルっていうのは悲しいからやっぱりこのファンドの期間という問題がありますね。で一番大学発ベンチャーにもしことによると問題があるとするとですね、その期間の中で成功できないけども後になって成功する可能性あるものをどうするかっていうのはマクロ的にはすごく重要なイシューだと思います。でこれは単純に言うと将来本当はこの時期にある大型案件が出てくれば食いつないでいけたのに、これが出なくなって2年遅れるだけでベンチャーキャピタル担げなくなりますね。したがってこういう視点から多分ベンチャーキャピタルやらなきゃいけないんでしょうけど、私は大学の視点から言うとですね、これをどうするかって話は今のところ産業革新機構あたりが今やり始めてるかなと。要するにベンチャーキャピタルのスキームの中でくれないものを、技術はあってもベンチャーキャピタルの5年10年というこのファンドのスキームの中でくれるものをどうするかという、これをどう革新機構あたりが作っていく、ちょっとこの再生型のベンチャーキャピタルのベンチャーの何て言いますか、復活ということなのかもしれませんけど、そういう視点において私は大学人としてはこういうものをどうするかっていうのがあるかもしれません。からもう一つ私のやってる範囲の中でですね判断するものっていうのはインキュベーションの施設にどう入居するかということで、私どもの施設は都合を言いますと9年間3年間の期間で2回延長できるということで9年間いられる流動を持ってるんですね。でこれは一つにはですねやっぱり成長意欲というものがどうそのビジネスプランとしてあるいは今後の会社の理念としてそういうものを私も感じてくることができるかというのはすごく重要なことで考えています。ただ居座るという中小企業マインドだと私どもは優先的には支援できない。そうすると将来どう見ていくかということと、それともう一つはこの1年2年くらいの間にですねどういう技術的な変局点を迎えてビジネスとしての広がりがあるかっていうのを見ながら、その変局点に来た場合には大いにサポートしようと。それをマネジメントがですね受けてなくてややもすると食いぶちを稼ぐための受託だけやっているような会社は支援したくないという基準を私は持っています。それぐらいしかちょっとお答えできませんけど。
スタンさんいかがでしょうか。
Why don't I just back up for just a moment? There's, I think, three parts to this. You have getting the funds, sustaining the angel and venture organizations' ability to give funds, and how do you get exits and successful paybacks to the ventures so that they have monies again to invest. So it creates a successful cycle, just like rain and water and clouds, making a cycle the same way. Let me make one statement that you may or may not be familiar with. Anyone who's been involved in the United States has heard this many times from venture and angel organizations. And that is, we go through an extensive amount of screening and due diligence before we make an investment. And that can take anywhere from a few months to 6 months of time. And so we're careful about who we invest in. And of course, in the part of the angel investor, it's our own personal money that we're writing a check from our own checking account. In the case of the institutional money, which is the venture capital, it is the investors, the venture capitalist is a manager of funds from many other organizations, whether they be retirement funds from Teachers Association or from the state employees fund or from corporate entities or just rich individuals who contributed to those funds. So they're managing those people's funds into it. But that statement is that after all of that work, still only 1 in 10 is successful. And that's what we strive for. And we hope to make more money or make up the monies that we lose in the other investments with that one winning one. Now, in these last few years, that's been a challenging statement, both in the amount of returns that we get and in fact, in some cases, even any returns at all. There's been some that have said that getting their money back has been a win. But having said that, we do look for organizations and people that have those same interests in growing their organizations. In the case of Los Angeles County, they're looking at two things, and why the incubator in our county even exists is they want to create new jobs, and they want to increase the economic base of the greater Los Angeles County. Now, that statement means that they want these companies to grow, make a lot of money, so they pay a lot of taxes. And that's what their incentive is. So it's a similar incentive too, because it becomes a circle that we want to look for companies that are going to grow. We'd like to see the proverbial hockey stick curve. And so everyone always wants to say, we look for investments that are going to grow to be 50 million, 70 million within the next 3 to 5 years. But the reality of it is it takes longer than that. And some of the great success stories that we know of out in the marketplace have taken 10, 12, 15 years to get to the $50 million mark. But the bottom line is that you are correct in that cycle does deem it necessary for some of those companies to be very successful. I would like to see that model slightly changed, and because we're going through a transition in the United States with that right now also, in that some of the funds from venture capitalists had gotten so large that to come and make an investment of 1 to 3 million in one of our companies at the BTC isn't even on their radar, which is why we've relied so much on the angel investors who can make an investment of that amount and make a difference. So I think some of the venture funds, because the returns have not been as stellar as they had been in prior years, the last few years, are not getting as much investors involved as they would like. And so some of their funds are smaller, and they're getting back into the smaller investments. But that is a cycle that has to continue. And the companies that we look at, with the management team, with the product, with the opportunity of the market that they're looking at, how focused they are in identifying their target market and have an implementation plan to address that marketplace are the type of things that we look for, and then validating those points before we make our investment.